I'm curious how long you think it'll take me to do all this prepping. I'm gonna use the air fryer, the stove top. We're gonna have like a million things happening at once. So let's watch how I do it. Welcome back to the channel, ladies. Today I'm gonna be sharing with you how I meal plan for my family. Now I've been meal prepping for many years, and every season it's looked a little different. And that's because at one time in my life, I was single when I was prepping, then I got married, then I had 1 kid, 2, now I have 3 children, and so it's changed over time. So I'm gonna take you through a tour of like some of the supplies I use, some of my staple foods, and how I meal prep. I'm telling you, every time I meal prep, it will look a little different. Now, if you're so super new to meal prepping, don't be overwhelmed by this video, but I hope you can just, catch 1 or 2 helpful tips or maybe tricks that I will be showing you along the way. And start small. If you're just getting started, I'm going to kind of share with you some things I do to make it a little bit easier. And so, yeah, let's get started. So here I'm going to share with you a variety of containers I like to use for meal prepping. Yes, it's a lot, and yes, I use them. So I always like to have a few shaker bottles because it's cheaper to buy protein powder versus already made shakes. And those are nice for on the go. Just put the powder in there and it's ready to go. I also like a variety of these containers. By the way, I do have an Amazon storefront, so you can check out some of these items on there if you're interested in getting the links. So different sizes, I got circles, squares, I even have like ones that have compartments. Some have 2, that's great for meal prepping. Some have 3, all kinds of sizes. I love them all. I absolutely love mason jars too. These are great for overnight oats. I also have larger ones when I do like salads, especially if you're prepping a few salads for a few days. There's a way to layer it in a mason jar that can keep it fresh a little longer. I will also use it for fruit. Then I also have some plastic containers, different sizes. We've got like large, medium, small. These I like to get at either Smart & Final. They tend to be a little bit cheaper because you can get it in bulk, but Amazon sells those as well. What I like about these plastic ones is they're microwavable safe. Not that I really use a microwave, but they're also freezer safe. So there's certain foods that I will prep and they freeze very well, which by the way, sweet potatoes, something I love to eat, those freeze very well. So instead of like prepping those every week, sometimes I end up buying like the potatoes in bulk and I can make like a whole month worth and freeze them, defrost them the day before, and they taste great. I like these little baby containers too. These are great for many things like almond butter, jelly, so if you're making like little rice cake PB&J, nuts, even when you're like meal prepping and you're trying to count calories and keep things like portioned, these are really great too. Once you start to figure out like the sizes and different ounces you can get, you can kind of figure out your calories pretty well too. I also use these for granola and many, many fun things to prep with. Okay, I also like these little snack bags. I get these ones at the dollar store. I love my sandwich ones. These are great. Throw some carrots in there, grapes. When you're on the go a lot or you don't want to do a lot of cleanup, these are excellent. And I also like the freezer ones because sometimes I'll prep like a triple batch of some meat, say ground turkey. That freezes well, so say I make a lot of it and I really like season everything. I can throw them in here, freeze them, and that's a quick, easy like dinner night. Or like say I'm busy and I didn't have time to make dinner. Like I can have something already set up for like, tacos or whatever you want to use ground turkey for. That's great. All right, so now we're gonna also, I have some foil ready with some pans because if I add foil, it's easier to clean up. I've got these little sheets for my air fryer, and then we'll move on to food. Okay, so here are some of my staples. I will be just using really olive oil, avocado, some of my favorite seasoning. I use this for everything: garlic, salt, and pepper, the blend. And then I have a few of these guys for just sometimes seasoning meat, Sometimes I'll just use some of this as on my salads. I will also be making overnight oats. I've talked about that. I like to prep some of my nuts, pretzels, Ziploc bags for the kiddos on the go. Now, a great thing, like, I'm going to show you how I meal prep, but there's things where, like, I'm going to cook some chicken, some ground turkey. I'm going to prep overnight oats. I'm going to wash and, clean up my veggies and fruit, chop them up, get them ready. But there's things like I might not want to do, like rice. Yes, I can make the rice, but sometimes I just buy some of the convenient stuff and I'll get these prepped in my little containers. And that's cool. Like, you can do that. All right. And these ones are going to go in those little containers. Dressings will go in those containers for my salads. Hemp seeds, chia seeds will go in my overnight oats. For eggs, I'm going to boil these, have them ready to go on top of salads, or again, easy breakfast on the go. It's all about making things easier, because if you're trying to eat better, you got to make a plan. If you make a plan, if you spend time prepping, you're most likely going to do a better job because you have a plan. Okay? Then I got my veggies. I'm going to wash these up, prep them. I might cook some of them. I also might just prep some of them. So it can look a little different every time. Meal prep how you need to. Then I've got some carrots, cucumbers, pickles, some things for salads, some fruit, sweet potatoes, spaghetti squash, butternut squash. And then we move on to some meat that's over here. Okay, and then I have my ground turkey and my chicken. Of course, there's other things we eat during the week, like turkey, pepperoni for sandwiches, sometimes salmon, but personally, I don't like prepping salmon. I'd rather eat it like fresh right when I cook it. But things like the turkey and the chicken, I don't mind eating for a few days. I also have some of my measuring items here, just so if I want to portion out some of my meals. This is a great tool. I highly recommend it if you want to measure your food so you know how many calories you're taking in if you're on a calorie counter or weight loss journey. Excellent tool. And for me, it's a must, okay? I don't like touching chicken. I eat meat, but I do get grossed out of like raw. So I've got my, my protected gloves. I also, just tips that I personally love to do is like, I actually don't have plastic spoons, but I don't like touching peanut butter and almond butter. So I don't even like using spoons. I feel like it's so gross to clean them. Anyone else? Is it just me? Is it just me? I know it's not. So a huge tip is, I just ran out, but always have like plastic knives or spoons to scoop out your peanut butter, because you can just throw it away. You have to clean it up. And in my little containers I like to use when I prep some of my nut butters is I will throw those ones away. I'm not going to reuse those. I'll only reuse ones that have like nuts or granolas or things that are like easy cleanup, right? But anything that's like butter, it's like plastic, toss it. Yes. Yes? Okay. All right. And then I got a little all my utensils and stuff to cook with. All right, we're going to get started. Now, I'm going to put a little timer. I'm curious, how long do you think it'll take me to do all this prepping? Gonna turn on the oven, we're gonna use the air fryer, the stove top. We're gonna have like a million things happening at once. So let's watch how I do it. So first thing I like to do is always get the oven going. I will use it for sweet potatoes, spaghetti squash, and butternut squash. Then I will also start some eggs, and I'm gonna air fry some chicken. I'll have to do 2 different batches because not all the chicken fits in the air fryer, but it works out because I use 2 different seasonings for each batch. Then I'm also going to cook ground turkey, which I'll use for a few different meals. I'll also freeze some of the ground turkey after I cook it. And look at that chicken. It came out great. Now I'm also going to chop up some veggies. I usually use cucumbers and peppers. It's like a staple for our salad topping and just a great snack to have also with like hummus and different things like that. Now, I know it's not easy to food prep, but I promise you, if you make it a priority, you can get it done. And also always give God thanks for a kitchen that you have and even the resources to have food available. Up next, I will cut up some celery and carrots. I also like to get the long carrots. They taste better than those mini prepackaged ones. It's a little bit more work, but my kids prefer it. So I'm thankful that they like carrots. Now, yes, it takes a while to take the shells off the eggs, but it's worth it to do it from home because you save so much more money doing it this way. So those extra minutes really is more money back in your pocket. When I prep some of the fruit, I will make a few different containers, some for my husband. And because my kids are homeschooled, usually I'll put a whole thing of fruit in one basket that my kids can pick from. And a huge tip for moms out there, when you're trying to get your kids to eat healthier, my encouragement is to get them to go to the fridge first. And I always say, hey, before you pick a snack in the pantry, which is usually something more on the processed side, I'm always like, here, grab one fruit, one veggie. So try to get them to have that before they choose, a granola bar or something like that. So it's kind of a rule in our house to start with something good and healthier before you go to your second snack option. Now, I made spaghetti squash. In my family, I'm the only one who actually enjoys it. So what I'll do is if I have like a pasta dinner, I'll use that ground turkey. I'll make some of my own homemade pasta sauce, which I could share in another video. But say I want to enjoy garlic bread because I love garlic bread, but I'm not crazy about the pasta. So I'll use spaghetti squash as my base, and my whole family might just have regular pasta, and that's okay. That's a way as a mom. Another tip, when you're trying to eat better, but maybe not everyone in your family is ready to do that same thing, you could take these little steps like I just shared. Here I'm measuring sweet potatoes. Sometimes I like to do that. 5 ounces equals about 100 calories. So I can freeze some of these and have them ready for future use, and then the rest I'll keep in the fridge. Now I want to share that even though this is a lot of work, it is worth it because in the long run, I have a lot less dishes to do. I have a lot less prep time too. So if there's evenings where I don't have a lot of time to set up dinner, I already have things that I can really work with, right? I've got chicken I can throw on a salad. I've got boiled eggs I can throw on a salad. I have ground turkey. I could just warm up and add some sauce and make a few different meals out of it. So it just really makes prep and cleanup so much easier. Here I'm prepping overnight oats. There are a few different ways I like to prep them. In this video, I'm using plain oats, hemp seeds, almond milk, protein powder. I make sure to stir it very well and shake it. Be sure to check out the description where you can get a link to a video on how I do other oats. All right, fun fact when it comes to almonds. It is actually 7 calories per almond, so 14 is going to equal 98. That's close enough to 100, right? And almonds are usually more affordable, and they're pretty low in calories compared to other nuts like pecans, walnuts, and pistachios. So when you're trying to eat good fats, aim for almonds. Now, this jelly and almond butter I will use on top of my rice cakes. I like to get some pretzels ready for the kids when we're on the go. They love grabbing these. All right, so we've meal prepped some chicken, 2 different kinds. We've got some lemon with garlic. This is Italian. We've got ground turkey. We're also going to freeze some ground turkey that's cooked, boiled eggs, spaghetti squash. We got some salad toppings, veggies cut up, on-the-go veggies, at the house fruit, husband's fruit, some on-the-go veggies, sweet potatoes, and then also butternut squash. We can freeze some of the sweet potatoes. We've got overnight oats, 2 for me, 2 for my husband, snacks for the kids, rice cakes with PB&J, nuts here or on the go, salad dressing, beans for dinner, cooked already, some salad on the go if we need to, and a few different rice sides for lunches or dinners. What you all think? And another way I prep is in these containers. These will be for my husband as snacks for when he's at work. The total time was 3 hours and 15 minutes. That is prepping everything and even doing the dishes. But keep in mind, I was filming. I also had to pause and play a few times on the side as you see a camera there. So you can get it done in less than 3. Now go for it. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.